everywhere, from every corner in Liberia. We bring you what's making headlines. We keep you connected with news you can trust.
Please listen at 7 p.m. every weekdays for Freedom Evening News Basket.
We're in the streets every day. We follow the stories everywhere, from every corner in Liberia. We bring you what's making headlines. We keep you connected with news you can trust.
Please listen at 7 p.m. every weekdays for Freedom Evening News Basket.
From our central studios in Monrovia, good evening and pleasant welcome to Freedom Evening News Basket, 45 minutes presentation of news from Liberia and across the group. Today is Wednesday, September the 13th, 2023. My name is Alexander Nyeneke, anchoring tonight's edition. Headlines and major stories we're carrying this evening. President George Weah switches on CLSG electricity, lighting up the first batch of homes connected to the grid in Palala town and several communities in Bon County. National Elections Commission announces the arrival of electoral materials toward 10 general elections, including ballot boxes in Liberia. Circuit Criminal Court A rules in state prosecutors' favor to disallow Councillor Gloria Scott to represent herself as a lawyer in the ongoing Charlo Musu's murder trial. And away from home in Libya's floods, 5,300 dead amid calls for humanitarian support. That's according to the BBC. The details of these, including the news bulletin, the voices behind the news spokes, the foreign developments are packaged in this presentation, sponsored by Crown Stoppers Liberia, and is being read on Radio Heart when Papa District, Grand Kittima County. First, the news bulletin with Jeff Jefferson.
President George Weah, standard bearer of the Coalition for Democratic Change, has switched on the CLSG electricity grid, thus lighting up the first batch of homes already connected to the grid in Palala town and several communities in Bon County. The George Weah-led government, with the support of the African Development Bank, has been connecting several towns and villages as part of its rural electrification expansion project. About 84% of the total of 3,000 targeted homes in Palala and beyond immediately got connected on the CLSG line electrified when President Weah switched on the facility which he had earlier dedicated. The Liberian leader asserted that the electrification of rural and urban homes is his government's way of giving back to his people to improve their socio-economic well-being. The lead project coordinator, Joseph Williams, explained to President Weah and entourage at the dedicatory ceremony that all targeted 350 homes in Palala will be electrified before the end of the month. He added that the 3,000 homes will benefit from the entire project upon its completion. President Weah then thanked the citizens of Palala for assuring him of their support to his re-election bid, which he said will enable him to undertake more developments in addition to what he has already done. He told the citizens during the campaign rally, that he has been struggling to provide a better standard of life for them, particularly for young people who past governments had neglected. At the same time, President George Weah has reacted to opposition repeated assertion that his government is to blame for drugs issues in the country. The Liberian leader said the issue of drugs had been an old-age issue in Liberia, and his government cannot be held responsible for such false and misleading claim. Speaking at a political rally in Jokwale District, Bon County, Tuesday, the CDC standard bearer warned his partisans not to be fooled or carried away by false accusations against him and the government. The president, at the same time, encouraged his supporters to be aware of such false information and not to be distracted. He also blamed families for harboring those who are bringing drugs into the country, and including those who are taking substances as well. President Weah, however, warned young Liberians to desist from taking in drugs as it is destroying their future. The presiding judge of the First Judicial Circuit Court, the Criminal Court A, Judge Roosevelt Willie, has ruled in favor of the motion by state prosecuting lawyers in the ongoing murder case involving former Chief Justice Chancellor Gloria Musu Scott. In the ongoing murder trial, Criminal Court A Judge Willie ruled in the motion to dislodge Chancellor Gloria Musu Scott from the defense counsel bench. The ruling means that the former Chief Justice will not be privileged to represent herself as a lawyer in the ongoing murder trial. Judge Willie's decision Wednesday to rule in favor of the motion was triggered by prosecuting lawyer Councillor Bobby Livingstone, who prayed the court to deny Councillor Scott from representing herself as a lawyer in the case as provided by law. The prosecution argued that Councillor Scott is being tried for murder crime, which is a capital offense, and so she cannot represent herself as a lawyer. Judge Willie, however, providing clarity on the motion, said one can represent himself or herself as a lawyer irrespective of the trial, but not when there is a legal team representing said lawyer in a capital offense. Still with judicial matters, the Liberian National Bar Association says bracing the pending electoral process with courage and conviction is a solemn responsibility and civic duty of all eligible Liberian citizens. The LNBA statement Tuesday asserted that participating in elections to choose leaders is an indispensable principle of the vibrant rule of law. In the statement further that the bar successful holding of the elections will further cement the democratic gains made over the years and will not condone any reckless actions from any anti-democratic elements desirous of undermining the peace and tranquility in Liberia. The bar fully assures its membership and the Liberian public that no one has the capacity to rig the October 10 elections to thwart the democratic wishes and partisans, that's aspiration of the Liberian people. The National Elections Commission has informed electoral stakeholders that materials for the October 10 general presidential elections have started arriving in the country. Ballot boxes, as well as yellow and gray precinct kits, have arrived in the Commission Central Warehouse. Additionally, the Commission has received mock sample ballots for all categories of election, President, Senate, and House of Representatives for training purposes. Tactile ballot guides for the visually impaired and assorted stationery materials for the conduct of the polls have also arrived, according to the statement. Additional materials, according to the Commission, will be arriving in coming days, while the Commission said it has produced and is distributing Know Your Candidates posters as part of its civic and voter education exercise. Meanwhile, the Commission said it is packaging of training materials for the October 10 legislative and presidential elections begun on September 11 in the Commission Central Warehouse. In a related development, a training of trainers workshop for magisterial staff has commenced at the Commission headquarters in preparation for the October 10 elections. The Commission furthered that it has commenced a series of trainers workshops for agents of political parties and independent candidates for the October 10 elections. The Ministry of Education, through the Improving Results in Secondary Education project, with support from the World Bank, has officially launched for distribution over 900,000 copies of textbooks and teacher guides for use in senior secondary schools in Liberia. The textbooks produced comprise mathematics, English, language and literature, chemistry, physics, and biology. Speaking during the launch of the books Wednesday at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex in Congo Town, the Minister of Education, Professor Ansu Sonin, said the exercise demonstrates the unwavering commitment of the government to enhance the education of Liberian students. Professor Sonin added that under the administration of President George Weah, the education sector continued to experience significant gains, noting that education is the surest means to achieve national development. At the same time, the Education Minister, Professor Ansu Sonin, warned against any attempt to illegally publish the textbooks. He said the Ministry of Education will work with the Ministry of Justice through the Liberia National Police to arrest anyone caught in the illegal publications of the textbooks and will be dealt with in accordance with the law. For their part, two representatives of the students, James Gaffron of the Maretta Preparatory International School and Catherine Kaye of the Worldwide Mission School, who are direct beneficiaries of the textbooks, lauded the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Education and partners for the initiative. The students said the textbooks will enhance their performances in the subject matters as they urged their fellow students to take advantage of the opportunity provided them by the Ministry of Education. You're listening to a bulletin of news on the Freedom News Basket, 45 minutes of the latest factual, captivating news happenings in Liberia. It is during production of the News and Current Affairs Department here at Freedom Communications Incorporated with studios in Monrovia. In more developments, some staunch members of the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change and supporters of President George Weah's re-election have rejected the candidacy of Madam Ruth James, who is contesting on the CDC ticket in Montserrat District 1. Addressing the press conference in the district Wednesday, former defeated CDC representative candidate in the 2011 elections, Martin Davis, said during the time he contested on the party's ticket in the district, Ruth James allegedly supported another candidate against him. According to him, for the past two elections, the current CDC representative candidate supported opposition candidates against the party's previous candidates. The CDC former representative candidate Martin Davis is, however, calling on every partisan of the CDC to re-elect President George Weah for the presidency, and Senators Joseph and PUP representative candidate Maurice Barbie for the Montserrat District 1 seat comes October 10. Also speaking, the chair on Public Relations Affairs Committee of the District 1 Youth Wing, Willie Foley, maintained that the young people of the district are resolved to support Maurice Barbie for his many developmental initiatives across the district. According to Foley, Barbie has been the only candidate of the district that has developed several parts of the district with road connectivity, provision of assorted medical items, equipment for citizens, and that due to his quest to support President Weah's re-election, they have decided to vote him comes October 10. Sano County District 1 Representative Creighton Duncan has said his decision to contest as senator in Sano County is to change the dynamics created in the county by Senator Milton Tierney and Representative Matthew Zaza. The Sano County District 1 Representative said District 2 Representative Matthew Zaza and incumbent Senator Milton Tierney are the three candidates vying for the Sano County senatorial seat in the upcoming general elections. Speaking recently in Monrovia, Representative Duncan said since he entered the political field of Sano County, he found it difficult to transform the county developmentally due to traditional barriers. The Embassy of Sweden in Monrovia, in partnership with Neighborhood Partners for Development, has dedicated a renewable energy system of 20 kilowatts under the Democracy Advancement Program as a means of aiding the entity in the process of strengthening democracy in the country. Speaking at the dedication of the renewable energy system, Swedish Ambassador Urban Jostrom expressed excitement in the completion of the energy system project. For his part, Naval Executive Director Eli Jowell thanked the Swedish Embassy for the initiative, which he said will lessen the expenditure of the institution in terms of electricity. Well, Alex, that's the shape of the news bulletin. Is back to you for the continuation of the news basket.
Jeff Jefferson with the news bulletin. He returns later on for the foreign developments. If I just joining us, you're listening to Freedom Living News Basket, the midweek edition of this program. One of the top developments we carry in this evening, President George Weah switches on CRSG electricity, lighting up the first batch of homes connected, the grid in Panama Town and several communities in Bon County. Let's now bring you the actual voices behind the news, beginning with this development. The Ministry of Education, through the Improving Results in Secondary Education project, with support from the World Bank, has officially launched for distribution over 900,000 copies of textbooks and teacher guides for use in senior secondary schools in Liberia. The textbooks produced comprise mathematics, English language and literature, chemistry, physics, and biology. Speaking during the launch of the books Wednesday at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex in Congo Town, Education Minister Professor Ansu Soni said the exercise demonstrates the unwavering commitment of the government to enhance the education of Liberian students.
Education has a lot to teach. Education is the tool that provides the foundation for national development. The focus of those that lead us determines whether or not that transition of civilization from one generation to the next can be guaranteed. And we observe how it happened, the speed at which it happened, the anxiety with which it happens, and the final outcome that we can anticipate. Yes, I'm in government, I'm a minister of education, and it's a privilege to serve as Minister of Education. It opened my mind and the eyes of my mind to what I could not have seen with my literal eyes. It brings me a vision that ordinarily I never would have appreciated till now. And I wish that for these people who are just climbing the ladder to what life is and what life has to offer. For those of us who sit in the middle pew, we are the reason for which these people shall make progress. We own schools. We administer the affairs of schools. We teach students, in many cases where the teachers themselves are not available. The purpose of what we do is to make sure that these people that sit at the extreme right in this hall become better than us or not less than us. When our children are less than us, then we have not fulfilled the mission of life as parents or as teachers. So our purpose is not to make the children us. Our purpose is to make them achievers greater than us. And what our missteps were, that they do not have the same missteps.
At the same time, the Education Minister, Professor Soli, warned against any attempt to illegally publish the textbooks. According to him, the Ministry of Education will work with the Ministry of Justice through the Liberian National Police to arrest anyone caught in the illegal publications of the textbooks and will be dealt with in accordance with the law.
We don't want to see these books under the Ministry of Education on Broad Street. We are going to inform those at that World Trade Center, and we write a letter to the Director of Police through the Ministry of Justice. If we find this book with any retailer or seller, that person is a thief. You are selling property that you don't own. So if your brother or your nephew or your uncle or your auntie or your somebody works for the World Trade Center, please tell them that these books are not to be sold, not by anybody. Therefore, please declare that these books are available for immediate distribution, beginning with the Monrovia school system and beyond. Distribution of the books is hereby officially declared launched.
He is Professor Ansu Soli, Education Minister of Liberia. For their part, two representatives of the students who attended the event, James Gavwan of the Maratha Preparatory International School and Catherine Kaya of the Worldwide Mission School, who are direct beneficiaries of the textbooks, lauded the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Education and partners for the initiative. The students said the textbooks will enhance the performances in the subject matters as they urged their fellow students to take advantage of the opportunity provided them by the Ministry of Education.
I'm very much excited today that we now have a seminary senior school book. At first, we had only a POS series that most of us didn't have a chance or the finance to get it. Because you see that a POS series would be about 25 USD, and then we won't have the finance to get it. But now that our country has provided seminary senior school book for, we're very much grateful to them. We put their hands together for the Ministry of Education. Okay, our hardworking Minister Ansonsoni, I want to say a very big thank you to you and your team for providing a secondary school book for us. And I urge you guys, my colleagues, to please take this chance and make this opportunity that you work on that will do best in our school.
I want to say thank you to everyone for gracing the occasion, our fellow students. I want to say thank you, Minister Anshu, for this opportunity you are giving to every one of us so that we can read more. Because one thing I know, for as with the students nowadays, our main challenge in school is reading, especially books. We have a library in our schools, our various schools, but the library will just be like useless. So I want to say thank you guys for giving us this opportunity so that we will see the enjoyment in reading. If you really put the time to read, you're going to enjoy it, honestly speaking.
They are direct beneficiaries of the textbooks launched on Wednesday. The former Secretary General of the Mountain River Union, Madina Wisse, is cautioning politicians against beating war drums in the wake of increasing military coups on the West and Central African countries recent times. Ambassador Wisse said the intervention of the military in several African countries should serve as a warning for politicians preaching do or die one-time victory in the presidential legislative elections in Liberia. Ambassador Wisse made this statement at the program marking the launching of the Liberia Council of Churches elections situation room in Monrovia Wednesday.
You, as religious leaders in the situation room, will be expected to serve as goalkeepers in a very tense electoral match. In some districts, more than others, and most especially in Montserrado County. We have seen NEC and the Supreme Court come under pressure. We have heard others say that if the results do not come out of the ballot box, then the bushes will grow flowers, looking like ballot papers. A whole week has gone by with District 11 causing stirs, and neighboring District number 10 remains restive. Different issues in each district, but the LCC must engage because this is part of the elections process. We do not want anyone beating war drums here. We also do not want to hear the drum major calling the military band to attention. The reappearance of khaki or leather boots in and around the sub-region should alert us all to reduce the do or die expectation of a one-round victory. The triangle of three horse race is real. The CDC, the CPP, and the Unity Party appears evident throughout, like a three-horse race. That is not to say Lionel of Dr. Clarence Moniba is not kicking dust, along with the Liberia People's Party of Tier 1 Gonglo or ALCO of Alhaji Lusini Kamara. If politics was like baking, then the recipe would be easy to follow, and the baking process made simple. Again, no one political party can go it alone and win election first round, one round only. It may be useful to surmise here that some people or parties who shout first round victory either plan to cheat or look for shortcuts. How? That would be a subject matter for another dialogue.
She is the former Secretary General of the Mountain River Union, Ambassador Madina Wisse. He remarks the president of the Liberia Council of Churches, Reverend Dr. Samuel Reeves, called for close relationship between civil society organizations and the religious leaders in order to ensure that the presidential legislative elections are conducted on a transparent, free, and fair atmosphere. According to him, this election is a testing time for Liberia which he said has put the entire nation at a crossroad. Some staunch members of the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change and supporters of President George Weah's re-election have rejected the candidacy of Madam Ruth James, who is contesting on the CDC ticket in Monserrado District 1. Addressing the Mayor News Conference in the district Wednesday, former defeated CDC representative candidate in the 2011 elections, Martin Davis, said during the time he contested on the CDC ticket in the district, Ruth James allegedly supported another candidate against him, which led to his defeat, and similar act was exhibited in the 2017 elections. The CDC former representative candidate Martin Davis is, however, calling on every partisan of the CDC to re-elect President George Weah for the presidency. Senator Sir Joseph and PUP representative candidate Maurice Barbie for the Monserrado District 1 seat comes Ottawa 10.
For one reason, I have appeared to speak on the issue. Number one, we want to know since 2005, CDC has never, ever won the district. And whenever time for election, we always see the highest member from CDC coming will win. I was on the ticket of CDC, and Ruth James decided not to support me on the CDC ticket. She said she was going to support one Alando Siake. We talked, we got tired. She said she supported that party. That's going to support CDC. 2017, we had one Jim Fanny on the ticket. Ruth Jean left Jim Fanny. She said she would not support Jim Fanny. She supported one Sadia Desiree. Where everything was open, the Zuna hair was there, the coordinator was there, everybody was there, see her campaigning for Sadia. So at this time, for me, I told my men we're not going to support Ruth Jean on CDC ticket because she had never supported no candidate in the district. So I will stand by this, and I call all of them all over the district. I said we're scaring Maurice S. Barbie. That's my decision. And I want everybody to follow my vision. And we're going by it. Take a survey in the district number 1. Nowhere we go, nobody can say, oh, we don't know Jay Mali. We don't know. So we are going to campaign the re-election of President. We are going to campaign for the re-election of Sir S. Joseph and also for Maurice S. Barbie to win this election in district number 1. And I stand by it. All institutions will stand by it to carry Maurice S. Barbie in the district. Thank you.
Also speaking, Vice Chair on the Relations Affairs Committee of Monserrado District 1 Youth Wing, Woody Farley, maintained that the young people of the district have resolved to support Maurice Barbie for his many development initiatives across the district instead of the CDC candidate Ruth James. According to Farley, Barbie has been the only candidate of the district that has developed several parts of the district with road connectivity, provision of several medical drugs and equipment for the citizens, and due to his quest to support President Weah's re-election, they have decided to make him the next representative of Monserrado District 1.
We've been hearing a lot of rumors that Honorable Sir S. Joseph on the banner of the flyers on the Maurice S. Barbie. We have come to tell the people, we are the front line and we are the masters of the end of life. We decided to support this character, Maurice S. Barbie, because of the numerous development of the district that the partisans of CDC have deemed necessary to support Maurice S. Barbie in this election. It's very simple. When you look at the fire the people are talking about in the district, you'll see with Sir Joseph carrying the CDC logo over your head. That was from Maurice Barbie carrying the PUP. But we now the issue that the other day there was rumors for Christopher. We send our files down, to take it down, and send it to Christopher. Someone else said because the other Sir S. Joseph patrons on the files from Maurice Barbie. We say to them, we see this as a fact. The main fight of how we're going to redeem this district, how the what we redeem is our power concern. We're concerned that one of our ticket was sitting in this district that resolved to support Honorable Maurice Saki Barbie. Our Maurice Barbie has been the only character in the race that has done the highest project in the district. No aspiring in this district has done compared to Maurice Barbie. So the young people have decided that we will support Maurice Barbie in this election. Where it's true, we support where the youth league is true, but we tell the people the youth of this district in our capacity has been necessary to carry Honorable Maurice Saki Barbie. And nobody can change our plan. We will be free on our plan. There's our side. Now all of them are in the race, carry imagine the point, we reject that imagine because the state has given to him, he does have opportunity. In spite of the people opportunity given to him to say yes. Young boy now said decide. Because they will not want you. Want a new form of imagine bro. Just greater form will now come to take what a new form is coming in now. We also know about young people. The election to be violent free. Let's tell them violence. Abuse is all we have. We want to be friends and we want lives. We should not fight our friends. We should not make enemies. And want ourselves. Let them maintain the peace and we all will enjoy after the election.
His ambassador Willie Farley, Chair on Relations Affairs Committee of the Youth Week, amongst other district, one listened to former representative candidate of 2011 elections, Martin Davey. Well, folks, this time is exactly 7:30. Let's join Anthony Phillips for the latest in the water sports.
The chairman of the Liberia Football Association Award Committee, Councillor Cole Bangaloo, has stated that no member of his committee has recused themselves, directly contradicting LFA President Mustafa Raji, who claimed that co-chair Benito Ure has recused herself from the process. Bangaloo's statement came a few hours after LFA boss stated on Truth FM Sports Talk that Ms. Ure had recused herself from the counting of votes in the LFA awards process. Raji told the public that Ms. Ure had recused herself from the process, and anyone with a conflict of interest on the committee should professionally recuse themselves when making the decision. According to him, Ms. Ure had already taken the necessary step by recusing herself from the vote counting process, which is one aspect of the award process. And away from Liberia, the devastating floods in Libya have claimed the lives of a number of elite footballers, according to the Libya Football Federation. The flood caused by a storm Daniel resulted into dams bursting, sweeping away large parts of the port city of Derna. The Libya Football Federation has officially announced the death of 4 footballers in the region: Shahim Al-Jimad, Munda Sagada, and brothers Sila and Ayubi Sassi. Sagada played for Derna-based Premier League side Danis, where the Sassi brothers were part of the youth team. Al-Jimad recently signed for Al-Tahidi, another Premier League team in the city of Benghazi. And that's the sports. Is back to you.
Anthony Phillips with the latest in the water sports. Well, folks, let's continue with more developments this evening on the midweek edition of the Freedom Evening News Basket. President George Weah has reacted to opposition repeated assertion that his government is to blame for the drugs issue in the country. President Weah said the issue of drugs has been an OAH issue in Liberia, and his government cannot be held responsible for such false and misleading claim. Speaking at a political rally in Jocolete District, Bon County on Tuesday, the CDC Standard Bearer warned his partisans not to be fooled or carried away by false accusations against him and his government.
You know what drugs in Liberia? Well, you are not there in the 12 years when they say that the director of NSA collect all the drugs there and kept it. That today they want to say how government brought drugs. Just another they are talking about 100 million worth of drugs that came to Liberia. Liberian people in a simple English. When that drugs, we heard that it came. The first thing I did as a president of the Republic of Liberia, I made sure that I ascertained, found out if it was true. Yes, it was true. When they confiscated the drug, and I'm talking it, they said, make him talk about it. I talk it because nobody's going to label us that we don't want to need drugs in the country. The security got the drugs. They want to keep it for 24 hours to get to me. And luckily for me, I was on the phone with the defense minister. And I said to him, if you don't get the drugs, you'll go find it the next day. I involved the American embassy, all our international partners to take that drugs to the barrack. The journalists here, they know it's on record. They get video for it. You know, people have to be honest. Some people are not honest. And they know when they go talking about drugs, they get it on video when they find that drugs in the barrack. So how we allow drugs to come to our country? When I was young in Gibraltar, in the ghetto, anybody that in my generation know 10 used to come in our era. Is today what 10 coming? You have government before. So we know that the drugs issue is our own family that bringing the drugs. So we're doing everything to make sure anybody bring drugs. The immigration working every day. And our responsibility for all of us to do that well. And we're doing very well. We're doing very well in confiscating the drugs that come in to our society. It's an everyday business. We're doing our best. We have records. So don't let them fool you. Talk about Joey and bring kush. I'm not a kush smoker. I don't even know the call kush. My whole life is I know that tabella. If you ask me the type of football, Partida football, Puma, or I can name all. If you ask me about drug, I can name it. So don't let them fool you. And I want to say to the young people, drug is not a good thing. Any friend you get that doing those things, you got to expose them. Because it's not a good thing. So don't let them fool you. In the 12 years, drugs were all over the place here with no control. control. Remember our former senator of Monserrado County, Vladimir George Akinto Monserrado. So don't mind that.
He's Liberia's President George Manguiedo speaking. Sando County District 1 Representative Creighton Duncan says his decision to contest as senator in Sando County is to change the dynamics created in the county by Senator Mayton Tiaji and Representative Matthew Zaza. Sando County District 1 Representative Duncan, District 2 Representative Matthew Zaza, and incumbent Senator Mayton Tiaji are the three candidates vying for the Sando County senatorial seat in the upcoming general elections. Speaking recently in Monrovia, Representative Duncan said since he entered the political field of Sino, he found it difficult to transform the county developmentally due to a traditional barrier put ahead by his rivals that he said blocked the minds of the ordinary citizens to see actual meaning of development.
TJ always look for excuses. He's a serious pathological liar. I really wish that he's available for us to go for this campaign so that I can beat him on a level playing field. It's about his attitude and the way in which he has been treating the county over the period of time. These are the reasons why I'm contesting against him, so that he cannot use the county as a bread-sucking winnie instead of using the county to help our people. Over the period of 9 years they gave him, he can show nothing that he has done for the people of Sando. Never constructed anything. So this is a kind of a man who I just triumph over the people and use them as a means to succeed. Zaza was given 12 years by the people of District Number 3. 12 straight years. Over the period of those 12 years, he cannot show you one hand pump that he has ever constructed in that district. I call that meanness and I call that wickedness. That is how they behave to the people. They go by tribal sentiment. They go and tell the one group of people, if you don't put me there, who will protect you from these other people? That's the kind of thing. But when they are given this opportunity, they refuse to help to develop the minds of the people. They will never build a school. They will never carry water pump. They will never build community centers that the people can assemble under to be able to receive guests or have meetings under. They wouldn't do nothing for them. So Matthew and I don't have any issue. I know that the people of Sando are not paying attention to him simply because someone can give you 12 years in their office and then you sat there without carrying one hand pump, one toilet, nothing. You don't build one structure. So what is it about?
He Sando County Representative, District 1 Representative Creighton Duncan. Unity Party senatorial candidate for Monserrado County, Waymouth P, has termed September 17 launch of the UP as election day, as voters will be in numbers to celebrate their victory. Speaking in a news conference Wednesday, Waymouth P noted that the country is not poor by choice, but rather it is being run by bad governance. He further explained that Liberians must begin with a government from the start in order to enjoy the rights as citizens in the country, adding that good morning can run away from bad system.
We have already coined September the 17th, Sunday, as election day. That's when the die will be cast, the fate of this country will be sealed, and the rescue agenda will come home to reality. And our people will be hopeful once again in themselves and in the future of their country. And we are 27 days away from elections. And practically we have about 25 days of rigorous campaigning. And you have been watching across the length and breadth of this country, beginning right here in Monserrado County during the county tour by the rescue mission headed by His Excellency, the next President of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr. I want to salute our people across Monserrado County.
Ambassador of Sudan in Monrovia, in partnership with Nemo Partners for Development, has dedicated a renewable energy system of 20 kilometers under the Democracy Advancement Program as means of aiding the entity in the process of strengthening democracy in the country. Speaking at the dedication of the renewable energy system, Swedish Ambassador Urban Zostrom expressed excitement in the completion of the energy system project and lauded the institution for its immense contribution in the sustenance of democracy in the country. He recited civil society as the cornerstone that holds to every nation, democracy, and the provision of the energy system is in an effort to make the institutions reliant in terms of electricity, as funds might not be available, especially in these times of elections.
With the team at Neymar and of course to LC as the private company here, that we are very happy to be here today. First of all, we are very happy for the partnership that we're having with Neymar. We strongly believe in a strong civil society as a cornerstone for a sound democracy in any country in the world, also in Liberia. And we have seen the good work of Neymar. We found you, you found us, we entered into an agreement, and we are very happy to see how hard you're working, how all your young people in the office, not least the young women that you have put into leadership position, are really contributing to democracy in Liberia. And that is really the essence of what you do. And that's my first point. The second point is, of course, that we believe in the Liberian civil. We strongly believe that there is high time to say we don't no longer need a middleman, an international NGO to come between us.
For his part, Neymar Executive Director Eli Jauro thanked the Swedish ambassador for the initiative, which he said will lessen the expenditure of the institution in terms of electricity. He at the same time appreciated the contractors for delivering the perfect and professional work to the institution, as there is no regret after choosing them out of two companies presented for the contract.
So part of our project was to build a solar system that was very strict about and how we went, man. And then when Chad told you had added on the budget, we need to do this and we have a discussion on it. So we even have to develop what they call the expression of interest. We also have to do that, what we wanted to do. We have no idea. So based on the specimen he gave us, that's what we put it on. So again, we put another call for another call. So we called about like 4-5 institutions and plan. We went through the process again. It was very helpful to us because we don't have any idea that he would come. He was like, down us on the specimen and everything, then we will make a final decision. We just want to make sure we don't know what the thing is, so we'll see it, we'll make sure it fits. So we got two organizations that came very close, but then they were successful that most of the activity were American made.
And there's a story: a physically challenged Liberian, Exodus Tamba, has made an SOS call to the government, monitoring all officials of government to assist his children in school. Speaking with Freedom News Wednesday, Monrovia, Tamba noted that in January 2022, after taking his children to school on his way back, he got hit lastly by escort one vehicle of the president. According to him, after taking him to the 14 military hospital to undergo treatment, his family made a call to a Finabondo complaining that escort one has hit a guy. A link after a few months when he got discharged from the hospital, Finabondo paid the amount of $496 for him to undergo annual treatments.
It was last year, January 31st, where I had one job in Louis Brown. I was on my way at Tingos Village, Namu. I met Finabondo with the president, 3 people on our way to the president. So everyone left, they transferred that money, she passed. So when people noticed that there was now a regular homework, everyone get back to the room, start grabbing no more time. Come and back on hell of one cheek. But on a certain power, the church and a few other cars on the low, we saw the low escort one from the president homework came from low. So right now, I don't have government. Please come here again. The same way how they make up, and please help me again. My children to school and stay work on.
He's a physically challenged Liberian, Exodus Tamba. They're speaking. Well, folks, let's rejoin Jeff Jefferson for the foreign development.
More than 5,000 people are believed to have died after floods. More than 5,000 people are believed to have died after floods in the Libyan city of Derna, an official has said. There have been desperate calls for more humanitarian support as victims lie wrapped in body bags and others have been buried in mass graves. A tsunami-like river flood water swept through Derna on Sunday after a dam burst during Storm Daniel. Rescue teams are digging through the rubble of collapsed buildings in the hope of finding survivors, but hope is waning and the death toll is still expected to rise further. Officials said at least 10,000 people are missing, while 30,000 people are estimated to have been displaced. The United Nations International Organization for Migration in Libya said on Wednesday, morgues and hospitals have been overwhelmed with bodies. There is also an urgent need for specialized forensic and rescue teams and others who specialize in recovering bodies. The head of the Libyan Doctors Union, Mohamed Agouche, told Turkish media. Médecins Sans Frontières said an emergency team will arrive in Derna on Thursday to assess medical needs and donate emergency medical kits to care for the wounded and body bags to the Libyan Red Crescent. It's back to Alice for the conclusion of the news basket.
Jeff Jefferson with the foreign developments is taking us on the midweek edition of Freedom Evening News basket. But just before we tell you for a few headlines of major stories we carried this evening, President George Weah switches on CLSG electricity and lighting up of the first batch of homes connected to the grid in Palala Town and several communities in Bon County. National Elections Commission announces the arrival of electoral materials for the October 10 general elections, including ballot boxes in Liberia. The Circuit's Criminal Court A rules in state prosecutors' favor to disallow Councillor Gloria Musu-Scott to represent herself as a lawyer in an ongoing Charles Musu's murder trial. And away from Liberia, in Libya, floods, 5,300 dead, amid calls for humanitarian support, according to the BBC. We'd love to say many thanks to our reporters, correspondents, and those who helped to make this presentation a success. Jeff Jefferson was here with the news bulletin, and the foreign development, Anthony Phillips with the spokes. Ibrahim Kamara Zara Control. I'm Alexander Nyeneke. I presented the midweek's edition of Freedom Evening News Basket. Have a wonderful midweek.